Here, this is Perp back with another video when I just got out of watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This is the very first movie kicking off Phase 5, and this is the first time I've been to a Marvel movie since Thor: Love and Thunder. Yes, I skipped Wakanda Forever. I've seen that movie though. Yeah, I just want to wipe that movie out of my memory for the end of time. But before I get into my thoughts and how I felt about this movie, I'm not going to go into heavy spoilers or anything like that. I'm going to save that for my live stream this Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't miss out on that. Make sure you set a reminder. That live stream will be going down at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday nights. Try to get there by like 9:30. I may start a little bit early, but I can't wait. I got an interesting panel joining me for that discussion. But let's get into this review because this is very controversial. I wouldn't say controversial, but I guess there's been a lot of mixed reactions to this movie, which is kind of interesting to me that people would have mixed reactions to this movie, but not much towards like Wakanda Forever. It seemed like a lot of people were afraid to really criticize that movie. That aside, that's in Phase 4, even though I feel like Phase 4 really ended strong, more so with Werewolf by Night and the Guardian special. This was an interesting start, starting with Ant-Man, and rewatching Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was another movie that was kind of lukewarm with people. Some people have it as low-tier MCU movies like that, but rewatching it, it kind of ties into this movie pretty well, especially with Janet being a big character or a big piece of the overall puzzle, and just her connection to Kang the Conqueror, which I really want to talk about Jonathan Majors' character as Kang in this. But before we get into that, I gotta talk about just Ant-Man, Scott Lang, Paul Rudd. This is his third movie, and some will say, just based off the trailer, it kind of made you seem like he was kind of regressing as a character, but not really. He has made this book. It's out there, and just his experiences just being an Avenger and stuff like that. He's just really liking the fame of it all, but everything kind of starts to change as he sees that his daughter's out here, definitely has gotten older and much bolder, and she is more on the activist side of things. And I know that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. They're like, oh boy, they're doing this again. I could see that rubbing people the wrong way. But I honestly like Cassie's character in this. I don't find her to be like an annoying or just useless character. She is fine. You know what I'm saying? She's fine with me. Not my favorite character of the movie, but she does enough. And I like the whole connection between her and Scott, and how he is very much the only one that's kind of trying to be the responsible adult. But at the same time, you had people kind of hiding something from it, like, because they've been working on this whole thing to make this, this like whole beacon to the quantum realm. And this is what triggers Janet into kind of saying like, no, I told you guys not to play around with this. Don't even think about it. And for good reason, because of Kang. But they don't know this. And I feel like that's one of the plot points of this movie that kind of does overstay its welcome. It kind of beats you over the head with it. It's just like, okay, I understand. It's just like, let's get to the point. Please explain. It's a lot of wasting time, I would say, unnecessary time. But then once they get sucked into the quantum realm, that's where things kind of get really insane. It gets very quantum, and you get the title Quantumania. And I kind of like just being in the quantum realm, because we never really got to explore it, how just vastly different it looks from all these different universes, even though, yes, the CGI and stuff like that isn't the sharpest. At times, it looks really cool. At other times, it's definitely a little questionable. Definitely when you get to MODOK's character, which MODOK has always been a goofy character and not a fan. I've never been a fan of his character at all, so he was always going to look goofy live action. But it's interesting that the whole twist with that character, MODOK, is that is Yellow Jacket Darren from the first one. So like I said, there's a lot of things that kind of tie all three movies together, and the overall story with Scott, which, like I said, I think this is a solid trilogy. It's not going to be everybody's favorite trilogy, but anyways, once they're down there in the quantum realm, we get introduced to like some of these freedom fighters, which I could care less about that whole storyline. That anytime we got introduced to any of those side characters from those like freedom fighters, I was kind of like taken out of it a bit. But the stuff that was strong was the whole Scott and Cassie bit, where he is doing everything that he can to kind of protect his daughter while he's down here and trying to figure out a way out of the quantum realm, because once they get there, they kind of split up. So it's like Janet, Hope, and Henry, whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying, they're off doing their own thing, and then Cassie and Scott are with these freedom fighters, and we get introduced to Bill Murray's character, which he's not really in this movie as much as I think people, I think he had just the right amount of screen time, to be honest. He didn't need to be like, I don't know, he could have, you could have honestly kept the Bill Murray stuff and got rid of the freedom fighter things, and I think you would have had a better paced movie. They do try to cram a lot of information in this movie with just Kang and how things operate in the quantum realm. A lot of that freedom fighter stuff could have been shelved, and they could have really dived deep into just the inner workings of the quantum realm, but maybe we'll see more of that down the line. That aside, let's get into the main event. The main person that people came to see this movie for is Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Man, I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Majors. I think he's the best actor that the MCU currently has, and I've always said that he's going to carry the multiverse saga. And man, I like this introduction to his character. I liked him in Loki. I think that he was the best part of Loki, even though I didn't like Loki as a series at all. But the whole setup with He Who Remains, and now we get the actual big bad of this saga, and man, does he make an impact. And he's very threatening, and I like just how he's able to manipulate. He's very calculated. He's not bloodthirsty necessarily, but he's not shy. He's never shied away from what he has done, and his whole thing is that he's been banished to the quantum realm because this is the only place that can hold him, or just keep him at bay. But as he's been at the quantum realm, he has created this empire down here. And man, the post-credit scenes kind of tease Avengers 5 and what they're going to possibly do with that. And it has me excited because it's going to be an all-out war. That's all I can really say without very much going into spoilers. But I felt Kang's presence was very menacing. Is very believable. Jonathan Majors did a great job. Just seeing the way his combat is, and just the way he relies on his suit, and also his timeshare, which is a very big part of why he's able to traverse different universes and timelines, and he's able to just do what he's able to do. Simple as that. But he's very dangerous. Even though he's just a man that he relies on his tech, very similar to Tony Stark, but he has similar aspirations to like Thanos, but on a grander scale, where he just needs to win this war. Similar to if you just go back to Loki and you listen to He Who Remains and how he came up with this whole sacred timeline, that like that was the only way to just stop the whole multiverse war. We might see a different type of thing kind of play out with this individual Kang, and I can't wait to see these other Kangs, because that's the most thing that's kind of got me intrigued. I'm even looking forward to seeing Loki season 2 now, just to kind of see how this ties into the bigger picture of everything, and how Avengers 5 is going to be set up with all these other movies. And yeah, it's going to be crazy how we have all this stuff kind of going on with Kang that a lot of people don't know about, and you have our characters thinking that they won, not knowing that there's this threat that is looming. And it's going to be crazy to see how they're going to stick the landing with Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars. And who else is going to play a bigger part in this overall story? Like, are there other villains, and just where are the X-Men? And the possibilities are endless now, that we're definitely going to get a lot of Marvel characters from other universes in Secret Wars, and I cannot wait to see it. I want to know your thoughts about this, but these are just my initial first kind of impressions of this movie. I want to kind of take some time and maybe see this movie one more time before the live stream on Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss out, because I'll be able to go more in depth on what I thought about certain things, and maybe catch more dislikes or things that I kind of liked more. Yeah. But till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.